Friends, we can all see that many white bloggers have millions of followers. Please support me too, because my followers are still few. Black bloggers also deserve to be famous. Raised fist medium dark skin tone. My friends, let's unite and lift each other up. Please press subscribe button and like. A chilling hush fell over the opulent private jet cabin, the silence punctuated only by the distant hum of the engines. The memory of the slap still hung in the air, a physical weight that pressed down on every passenger. Sarah Jensen, a flight attendant with a vicious smirk, stood over a crumpled figure in the aisle, the torn pieces of the boarding pass fluttering to the navy carpet like fallen snow. Fraud. Liar. She doesn't belong here. The whispers hissed through the cabin, amplified by the cruel chorus of laughter. Elena Vance, a businesswoman of undeniable poise, stood tall despite the burning humiliation on her cheek. The world, it seemed, was watching her downfall in real time through 100 tiny screens. These people always try to cheat their way up front, a suited man muttered, while another passenger scoffed. She should be grateful she's even on board. Sarah, her uniform a crisp testament to her perceived authority, barked at 2 security officers who had just come on board. Security, remove her. Step aside, ma'am, one of the officers ordered, his voice sharp and rehearsed. Elena lifted her chin, her voice a calm counterpoint to the chaos. This is my seat, and it's paid in full. Sarah's sneer was a dagger. Your kind never pays for this section. Either get to the back where you belong, or off this plane. Another wave of chuckles followed, and the man with the laptop leaned forward, annoyed. Always a scene when they can't afford the ticket. Now the whole flight's delayed. The tension in the cabin was a living thing, coiling tighter with every passing second. Just then, the cockpit door snapped open, and Captain Richard Davies emerged, his frown as deep as a ravine. "What's going on?" he demanded. "Impersonator," Sarah declared, her voice dripping with false concern. "Her ticket's fake." "She hit me," Elena said evenly. "Lies." Davies scoffed, turned to the officers. "I don't have time for this. Officers, remove her." As the officers closed in, Elena's leather briefcase slipped, spilling its contents across the aisle. Sleek black folders burst open, each one bearing the same silver lettering. Zenith Global Holdings Confidential. The phone zoomed in, their lenses hungry for drama. Sarah kicked one of the folders away with disdain. Stage props. She thinks she's clever. But the cameras kept rolling, and the live stream viewers doubled, then tripled. "Who is she?" the comments poured in. "Why is she so calm?" Elena crouched, her movements graceful and deliberate as she collected the folders. She rose to her full height, her gaze locking on Sarah. "You've just made the biggest mistake of your career," she said, her voice a low and dangerous purr. Sarah snorted. "Oh, really? And what are you going to do? Cry?" "No," Elena replied, a ghost of a smile playing on her lips. "I'm going to show you," from her jacket pocket. She drew a phone unlike any they had ever seen, its black surface sleek, and its screen a cascade of encrypted codes. With a single press of button, she lifted it to her ear. "This is Elena Vance. Authorization code Delta 93. Ground flight 472. Immediately, the effect was electric. Gate monitors flickered red. A digital chime rang through the cabin speakers. The boarding display outside the jet turned a bold crimson. Flight 472. Executive hold. "What the hell?" Davies barked, his authority unraveling with every passing second. The officer's radio crackled. "Command confirms hold. Flight cannot depart. Stand by for clearance." Murmurs erupted, a panicked and breathless cacophony. Sarah's face drained of all color. "What? What did you just do?" Elena turned, her voice steady and amplified by the sudden silence. "For those of you who are recording, my name is Elena Vance. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Zenith Global Holdings, the majority stakeholder of this airline. Every seat, every crew member, every paycheck here runs through me." The live stream exploded. "Wait, she owns the airline? This is insane. Fire that flight attendant now." Elena flipped open a folder. Stock certificates gleamed under the cabin lights, official seals, and signatures irrefutable proof of her words. "You humiliated me before thousands," she said, her words sharper than any slap. "But worse, you humiliated yourselves. Because in attacking me, you attacked the very person who ensures this airline even exists." Her phone buzzed again, the chairman of the board, then the secretary of transportation. She ignored them all. The live stream was her courtroom, and the world was her jury. Sarah stumbled back, her lips quivering. Davies rubbed his temple, beads of sweat breaking across his brow. The officers froze, suddenly unsure whether to act or retreat. "I hold the future of this airline in my hands," Elena said, her voice dropping to a low, cold timbre. "And now, the world is watching how you chose to treat me." The passengers, who had moments earlier been so eager to film her downfall, now whisper among themselves, angling their cameras closer, desperate not to miss a single second. The tide had turned, and the air was thick with anticipation and dread. "You wanted a spectacle," she told them, her gaze sweeping the cabin like a blade. "Now you've got one." The monitors at the gate flickered into static. The officer's radio hissed with an incoming transmission, garbled but urgent. Sarah clutched her armrest, her face a mask of fear. "Federal oversight inbound. All personnel stand down," the static-filled voice announced. The announcement struck the cabin like a lightning bolt. Sarah's hand, one steady with cruel confidence, trembled as she lowered it. Captain Davies' jaw twitched, his authority crumbling into dust. Elena remained perfectly composed, her folders tucked neatly against her chest. "In 5 minutes," she said, her voice quiet but powerful, "representatives from the Department of Transportation will be at this gate. Their first question will be why the CEO of Zenith Global was assaulted and nearly dragged off her own jet." The laptop man shut his computer, his face pale. The teenager's stream ticked past 100,000 viewers, the comments a blur of outrage and disbelief. Sarah lunged for words, for any defense, but they failed her. It didn't look like," she faltered. "You thought wrong." Elena cut her off with a look sharper than glass. "And you made that thought public." Captain Davies stammered. We can resolve this privately, Ms. Vance." "No," Elena said, her presence filling the narrow aisle like a storm. "This is not private anymore. You tried to parade my humiliation in front of strangers. Now, you'll endure accountability in front of the world." The cabin doors hissed open, and a cluster of officials in black suits stepped aboard, their badges gleaming. The lead inspector's gaze scanned the tense faces before stopping on Elena. He inclined his head. "Ms. Vance, we've been briefed. Please remain seated. We'll handle this." But Elena shook her head. "No need. The evidence is already live. My shareholders, my employees, the public, every one of them knows exactly what happened here." She turned towards Sarah, whose face was drained of all color. "Your career ends today. Captain, so does your command." Davies' lips parted, but no sound came. The phones captured every flicker of his disgrace. Elena gathered her briefcase, her dignity unshaken, and settled back into her seat at last. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said to the stunned cabin, "you witnessed an attempt to strip me of place and worth. Instead, you've seen the truth. Power does not change who I am. It only reveals who they are." The inspector signaled. Sarah and Davies were escorted out, their protest drowned by the buzzing of 100 recording phones. Outside, the flight board flashed green again, and in the world beyond the jet, the verdict had already been rendered.